When they are consuming your mind and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening, everyone. And if you're just tuning in, you are listening to or watching UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network, or we like to just call it UPRN. And you're going to be listening to it in one place, at least. It does stream everywhere in the world, but 105.3 out of FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 out of New Orleans, Louisiana. And I'm one of your hosts. We both co-host here. I'll let my co-host introduce himself in just a sec. A little bit about myself. My name is Lorilei Potvin. I am a host, obviously, out here because I'm here on the network, but I have my own show on Mondays called The Angel Rock from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher and mentor, registered nurse. I'm also a budding animal communicator. I'm well versed in near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler myself, and I've also studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years. And I'm extremely well versed in the paranormal. My previous home was like crazy haunted. It's quite the story. I'm actually writing a book about it, but we have shared our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor season 4, episode 9. I do know what season it is, I promise. Sorry. You guys know nothing wrong. I want to let you know, and I really appreciate you all being here. It's a live show. Sometimes we got to restart. Sometimes we have a few little things, and we do have to wait till 10 minutes after the hour just because there's a show before. So just so you know, so I appreciate, but what I want to let you guys know, we will always find a way to communicate with y'all to let you know if there was any problem. We will be here. And if God forbid, knocking on wood, it ever happened that we couldn't get this show up, I guarantee you we would get a replay up somehow, one way or another. I promise. But thank you for checking in. A little bit about the network. It's been around 25 plus years. There really is something for everybody. So if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and family. We stream multiple shows daily, 7 days a week. When we're not streaming live, the archive server kicks in and randomly picks shows over the last 25 plus years to play out there. So we are streaming 24 hours a day. I know on our YouTube channel and many of the platforms that we do stream on. So check it out. I believe we're up to 40 hosts now. So there really is something for everybody here. And we're always adding new shows with different topics and content. So check out the other shows as well. I know a lot of you do. Now, if you guys want to join in the audience and join the comments, because 80% of our listening global, yes, global, we do broadcast potentially to every country in the world. They're audio only. But the people that are joining in the comments that we're going to be interacting with, because we always interact on this show, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, and I do also on the Angel Rock with our audience. I even tell guests, I only have guests on Monday nights. I always tell them that our audience is incredible. It is a beautiful, wonderful, safe space for people to be. Y'all are so intelligent, with so much knowledge. You guys ask great questions, and we really appreciate y'all being here, because otherwise just be Dave and I chatting, and we do love to chat, but you guys add so much to it. So how you're going to join the conversation, you head over to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio, either on Facebook or YouTube. We're streaming to my co-host David's YouTube channel, The Spirit Experience. He is streaming. He'll tell you where he's streaming. I can't remember what platform you finally picked yet, Dave. Go ahead.
It's my personal page, Spiritual Medium David Hanzel, and my YouTube channel, The Spirit Experience.
Yeah, I said The Spirit Experience. Yep. And my YouTube channel is The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. We're streaming there. We are streaming to Canada's Most Haunted. I'm streaming to my Facebook profile, which is Lorilei Potvin. It's public, so anybody can go in it. You don't have to be a friend to join in. I'm also streaming to Instagram on the Angel Rock. Now, I don't think they fixed this yet. I keep seeing these sporadic messages. I think they're only allow live streaming for 1 hour, and this shows 2 hours. So hopefully it doesn't cut off. But the other thing is, if you're over there, please don't think we're ignoring you. I promise we aren't. We use StreamYard, and I produce the show. But the thing is, they don't integrate the comments in with the rest of the comments over here. So I'm not ignoring you. I promise we're not ignoring you. I will try and check in every now and then and say hello to you, or you can come and join us on some of the previous other channels and stay for the whole show. Lastly, if you guys want to watch us on TV, you can. We have our own TV channel for the network. It's on Roku. You're going to go to the channel store and type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop down list. We're about the third or fourth one down, and you're looking for UFO space paranormal and United Public Radio. And that's how you can watch us on there if you want. I'm just checking. I have a little check off list so I don't forget anything. I don't think I did. So Dave, take it away finally with my rambleitis here.
Hi, you guys. My name is David Hanzel. I am a medium and a channel animal communicator, near-death survivor. I guess I don't even know how to say that. I'm an NDEer as of 2000.
You're an experiencer.
Yeah, I'm an experiencer. That's right. I am. What else was I going to say? Geez, I just forgot already. I got sidetracked. Oh, but experiencer and animal communicator and so on and so forth. If you want to find me, I'm on TikTok and Instagram at Medium David Hanzel. No dots, no slashes, no numbers. Okay. And then I have a website, and I'll tell you about that at the end of it. Other than that, we also have, Lorilei and I have a group, a private group on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
That's called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed. Yep, and David Hanzel. And when we started it not long ago, and it's doing pretty good. We're posting here and there. On that page, you can see the videos that Lorilei shows during the live shows. Lorilei usually posts them in there when she can.
I usually do. If I forget the night off, I'll go back. Usually, I think 1 week I missed.
Yep. And then if you guys have any pictures or videos you want to post on there that has to do with the paranormal, metaphysical, or spiritual, you are more than welcome to. Once we have 200 people in that group, Lorilei and I will start doing lives in there maybe once or twice a month. And there'll be free readings that we'll do and answer any questions that we possibly may not be able to answer here for you. So please go ahead and join us over there. And that is about it so far on my end, except for I know Lorilei and I have both had some crazy fun weeks with crazy fun synchronicities and crazy fun things.
Well, let's say hi to everybody, because Nicole Thomas Ryan says she thinks she heard something, maybe an EVP, right before you stopped talking, Lorilei. She says, I had an EVP Monday night that Connie, one of our regular viewers, noted and clipped it and sent it to me. But then we thought it might have been my dog, because my dog has been acting crazy, whining, a toy perseveration, not like the last time. Julie Jean Bassett, I've seen her in the chat. She's a great animal communicator, fantastic shamanic practitioner. Be sure to check her out under juliejeanbassett.com. But she's really annoying right now, and decided that was the time, while I was pre-recording the show earlier Monday, that she wanted to play. So we thought it might have been the dog. But then my guest, I had told her about it through email, and she said, I noticed that during this show. And she said she heard almost like music or organ music. So who knows? So Michelle Wilfong is here. So hi everyone. She says Diane Brighton says I shouldn't. It takes too long to highlight everybody, so we'll just say hi. Diane Brighton says hi everyone. People are saying hi to each other. Julie Jean Bassett says I'll highlight her since I was mentioning her. If you want to check out her name and website. Hi Lorilei, David, and everyone. We've got Jeanette Hidalgo. Welcome. Jackie Lane. Hi everyone. Happy Thursday. Michelle Wilfong said I switched to David's to make sure I didn't miss y'all. Okay, perfect. Speaking of Connie is the one, and I want to thank her. She said, Contessa, she goes by on Facebook. Martin, she says, good evening, David and Laura Lee. She is the one who clipped the EVP for me. Joanna Garfield.
You know what? Boy, you're there real quick. Contessa, I tried to do a live on my Facebook today, and because Facebook's been kind of wonky, but it didn't show everybody, but Contessa was on there. And then it was you. We had a short little chat with your mom.
Her mom's lovely. Her mom and super powerful energy.
Yeah, she is. She has a very pretty picture she gave me, and I was trying to tell Contessa, I'm like, it was so beautiful what I saw. So, and she said it makes sense. That's what it was. So that was nice. But anyway, I'm glad you guys are all here.
So, well, let's finish. We got Joanna Garfi McNally. You're the best. I have not seen you forever. I liked one of your pupster pictures, and I miss you, Joanna. Then we've got Rhonda Harris. Rhonda Harris, who is co-host of Ed, or as I know him, Howie Odell. He owns the Riff Network, and we've been on the show with Rhonda and Howie before a couple times on their show, The Orion Effect. Rhonda's coming on the Angel Rock, and I believe it's in April. August. We've got Jennifer M, and then make sure we haven't missed anybody here. Nicole Gaspard, she says hi and shared. We really appreciate that. Make sure we haven't missed it. Kathy Hanley Little, and Nicole Gaspard wants to share her podcast. She's got Haunted Real Connections podcast. Cool. We've got Robocombs. Love this site. Enjoy their posts. And Contessa Martin says, yes, it was me. I have a video. I started to tell you, and then we got talking because we've had a crazy busy week and haven't had a lot of time to talk. So I do have some crazy stuff to show. So we want to be sure we want to show that. But go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Oh, cool. No, we can go right on it and let you guys. We always say this in our show. You guys, whatever, if you guys are something you have a question or you want us to talk about, if Laura Lee and I have the expertise in some way, shape, or form to talk about it, we are more than happy to do that for you guys. And if we don't know what you're talking about, trust me, Laura Lee and I will look it up and research it and study it for the next show. We don't mind doing that at all. We love doing that. We always go down the rabbit hole. I don't know why. Well,
you know what? Okay, so we were on the Appalachians quite a few months ago, and one of my closest friends, Leanne, she's been on the Angel Rock. David knows her from, we all know her, Julie Jean Bassett. That's how I found Julie, through Leanne. I did not know that Leanne grew up in the Appalachians as well, in Tennessee. Oh. She's now in Georgia. Boy, some of the stories she's been telling me, and she's been sending me a bunch of stuff. I just haven't had a chance to get through it, but we may have to have another chat about the Appalachians because that is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There is some crazy. There is a lot of crazy, and I love it. I'm there for it.
Okay, so these couple ones, and again, this is, you know what I do want to say before we start? There is a girl I really enjoy, Lorilei, and she will go over haunted TikToks mainly and stuff like that. And she was showing this one guy, she was covering him. And I sent it to Leanne. And I said, I don't know if this is fake or not, because there was some talk about it could have been or maybe. And Leanne has actually seen it. And this guy is a film student. And you should see the paranormal this guy puts out. It looks real. So the thing is, it's hard to tell between real and not real. Yes, Julie, she says, I don't know that about Leanne either. Oh, okay. So Michelle Wilfong, do you want to answer this question first before we get into videos?
If we want to, go ahead with your
we'll do a few videos, Michelle, and then we'll answer your question.
We'll answer that. It's a good question, and a lot of people it's a good question with a lot of ideas.
It's going to be a longer answer. So Michelle's asking about portals and how do I know if I have one? You'll know, believe me, if you have a portal. You don't have to be a paranormal expert, but hang on. Okay, so this is Nuke's top 5, and I got to tell you, I even went to his subreddit on Reddit, and somebody said RIP Nuke's top 5. I think I gotta admit, it used to be my favorite one of my favorite channels. Now, I know he's been very ill and has had a lot of health issues, but his last couple videos in this video, I know I've seen on Bizarre Bub and other shows. So, but the beginning ones I haven't seen. So let me know what you guys think about this. So this one's a shorter one. I'm going to have to stop and start with the videos just with fair use for YouTube, though, so you all know. Okay, so he'll explain.
A father says that he was busy working in his office one day when his son came running in and seemed very upset. The boy claimed that, quote, a man was moving things in the other room. The dad follows the boy into the living room to find things scattered all across the floor. So he checks his security cam to see just what happened. What he finds.
I just want to say hi to Howie. He's here. Howie, or Ed Odell, we were just talking about you because Rhonda's here. So hi. Okay, so I stopped it. Now I'll explain it. So apparently this is taken from security cameras they have in the home. Little guy's little. And they even show you an arrow where to kind of keep an eye on it. Now, because this involves a younger, smaller child, that makes me think that something must have been going on here. You guys see what you think. Either that or the kid's a pretty good actor. Hang on, we'll start it. Again, I got to start and stop. Sorry, guys.
Chills him to his core.
I kept thinking, where's the kid?
A small toy and a dog bed can be seen sliding across the living room floor, all by themselves. The seemingly annoyed little boy rushes over to the objects and even starts picking up the dog bed and throwing it back to the floor in frustration.
There isn't a spring
the dog
on
bed
it.
then aggressively slides back towards him, knocking him over. But luckily, the little boy lands right on the soft bed. So just what was the boy seeing when he told his dad that, quote, a man was moving things? Could some dark presence be haunting their home? You decide.
Oh, of course. These guys in their commercials. So what did y'all think?
I've decided I am...
Anybody? Like I said, if the kid hadn't...
I'm decided that I am not even close to 5%.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't even believe that I'm close to 5% on the spectrum of thinking that it's... I mean, I'm not going to say it's not real, but I need more than that because I noticed too many things in there that caught my eye for the fact that... And I'm not
just
sitting here trying...
for what it is. Every week this happens.
For what
Every
it is,
week
I
this
was...
happens, Dave.
Yeah, well, because I don't want to just come out and say
I have questions too. I'm not saying it's paranormal.
Yeah. I'm not saying things didn't happen. I'm not saying that. But I'm just, when I watch a video like that, I don't watch the whole thing. I watch the bits and pieces of it. Whenever I watch those, I don't know why it's where my mind goes. And I notice just everything is being pulled to the same corner. So everything was being pulled. Nothing was being pushed, but that's nothing because ghosts can pull and not push. That's fine. He was having a lot of fun. So I didn't appreciate
he was mad to me when I saw it. Like, especially like if I hadn't seen the kid pick up the bed and throw it, I would have went, is there a thread on this or what's going on? I don't know if it's real or not.
I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's not either. I'm just saying these are things
about the activity because every video we show, even if you showed some, Dave, or picks them out. We could pick it all apart because we have no history. Like, you can't just jump to a video and go, yeah, that's paranormal. It's absolutely paranormal, because we don't know. We don't have enough context. We don't have the story. We don't have what was going on before, what was going on after. What time of day did this happen? Where were you? Like, there's so many questions. Do you have any mental health issues? Do you have a film background?
Oh, no, there's a billion questions. I just don't. You know what it is videos like, actually almost every video I see, it's some are really good. I mean, I've watched some and I said, oh, that's definitely, I know that is. And I've seen, like, or you can look up the backstory and stuff. Not saying that that's not real. I'm saying it would take a whole lot more for me to believe that was real, just because just from watching it one time, I picked out a lot of different things on the spectrum of debunking that somebody would say. I think the most important thing people should do when they go even on paranormal things is to try to debunk everything first, because what we're trying to do is prove without a shadow of doubt that there is something outside the physical realm. Now, you and I had enough experiences to know this. You had a big experience, so of course you know it. There's like not knowing that. I even watched that episode, so I know what you're talking about, because I watched your episode. Actually, I watched it again last week. It was.
And the thing is, okay, they interview us for 6 hours in our episode, and that is not the only thing that is true to the way it happened. Was the ending of the episode.
The ending, yeah, but I can.
It happened the way.
When I watched it though, not just because I know you, but I know you, and I was watching you answer the questions, and I'm like, she's not bullshitting on her answers. Oh, sorry. I mean, she's not. She's saying her answers.
You know what they did? I've only watched it a couple times. Okay, they interviewed my partner and I, Del, for 6 hours, and we're very grateful for the opportunity. So I don't want anybody to think that we're
exactly.
No, for anybody listening, we're not being negative, but I believe they took parts of our answers and spliced them together. They only got about 20 minutes to tell a story. We gave them pictures. We gave them a whole bunch of stuff. They didn't use any of it. My ex-husband signed a release to be included. We signed a release for Justin because my youngest with the autism had experience. Everybody in the house had experience. But when I watched it, and I'm sorry, the first time my partner Del and I watched it, we were peeing ourselves laughing. And the reason why is the only thing I was really upset with, because I never got to speak to Michelle DeRoche, who's up right after this. I did not know her then. She commented on our episode. We never got to meet Michelle or Katie, the other psychic that were commenting on the episode. We never got to meet the actors that were doing the reenactment. Okay, so we got, and the girl that was playing me was way over the top, because Dave, you know me well. I'm not like,
yeah, I know. I the very first time when you told me to watch it and you told me to look for that, I was like, that is so not.
Okay, so they had her doing this ballerina dance that never happened. But the thing that really got me too was when she was flipping out and screaming as myself in the reenactment, hitting the actor portraying Del. And I've never hit anybody. I've never hit my kids, never hit my pets.
Like I said, when I watched your episode, I knew that the other stuff, you even actually alluded to it. And I know how the TV shows work. It's their job, you guys. It's their job to bring something like that for entertainment as well.
Okay, but the funniest part to me, and Michelle Wilfong says, I just watched it and she liked it. And I'm glad. A lot of people that don't know the story, like I don't know the story of people that do Paranormal Survivor. And I watch it and I get freaked out and scared too, because I don't know the whole story, kind of like what we're talking about these videos. But the part where the psychic comes to the house, by the way, it was not a male, it was a female. And the female, it did happen, but the female declined to be part of the episode. So it was respected. So I had to say he. There's the only thing that I had to change what the real story was when being interviewed. But in the episode, there's the male psychic comes in, he's going, "Be gone, demon," or something like that. And all of a sudden he gets all freaked out in the reenactment. The girl playing me is standing there and he takes a look at her briefly and he's out the door and he leaves the person playing me standing there. And I couldn't stop laughing, because it was literally like he was saying basically, "Biatch, you're on your own. I'm out of here."
When I saw that part, I mean, I know that, like I said, what I'm saying, you guys, is I'm reiterating. I know something. I know about Lorilei, and I've watched the story, and I watched how she handled the interview. I could tell just from the interview. I can tell from an interview with people that, oh yeah, they're not,
No,
BSing people.
well, you
They're
know
really
what?
happening.
Listen, my partner Dell is the biggest skeptic in the world. You know what he told me before we interviewed? They're not getting me to say the word demon. I refuse to say the word demon because I don't believe it was a demon. And so they tried and tried and tried. He's the biggest skeptic. He's been thrown 15 feet across the kitchen.
Yeah.
He's still a skeptic. And you are absolutely right. We have to look at this. And I think we can learn from debunking these videos. Sometimes you just got to take it for what it is.
It is. And you do. And
every single video we have shown on here, you're not going to, unless it's really obvious, like really, really obvious.
Really
but
obvious,
in this
yeah.
day and age with video, you just don't know. The only time I might consider it is it during a live investigation, right? And
because of the technology around, I have to say, and I'll admit to everybody, and you guys, just so you know this, I don't do this to make anybody feel bad or to try to shoot down your hopes and dreams. I do it because I'm in this business and we talk to these people all the time. I mean, it's 24 hours a day. I'm connected to something or talking to her and things happen and all that. And and Lorilei as well. Now, what I'm trying to say is there's so much out there, and there is some amazing fakes out there, man. There is some amazing
like I said, if you saw this,
I'm on the offense though. That's what I mean. I'm always on the offense because of that.
He went viral on TikTok because Leanne knew exactly who this guy was the minute I sent it. She's seen it. And if you saw his stuff, it's convincing. Not everything, but some of the things are pretty darn convincing. Never mind his level of fear. Like, that guy deserves an Academy Award. If that's all faked and he's like, I'm not kidding. Like that, it's pretty hard unless you're a professional actor to know how to be very convincingly afraid. Maybe pathological liar.
You mean the video we just watched?
No, his name is Dustin something, and he's got this story going on about this haunting at his place, and now it's following him to work. But apparently he is a film student, and he put out a short film. What was it called? He's part of the LGBTQ community, and I don't say that for any other reason, but it was sort of a short paranormal film. And it's part of the title, not LGBTQ, but something to do with that. And he put a film out like that. And from what I can surmise, and after talking to my friend Leanne, this is all faked. And if you see this,
it's really good.
It's good.
I know. Like I said, it's so easy nowadays to do stuff. That's why I'm always on the offense. It's not because I'm trying to do that, but I'm always, the minute I can't help it, the minute I look at something, I just can't look at it, especially if it's on YouTube. Now, if Lorilei were to say to me, like when Lorilei sends me videos, David, I saw this light in the sky. What do you think it is? I don't look at that and think, and I'm not on the.
Because you know we're not going to fake it. Same as if you sent me something, I know you're not going to fake it.
Yeah, we're not going to fake it. Yeah,
like this next one I'm going to show you.
Oh wait, let's quick read Rob's. That's an important one. Can you throw that up there?
Rob Combs.
Real quick. Rob Combs says, I'm a veteran vet. I wish some paranormal psychics would investigate Vietnam. I served in a Halo, is it? A Halo squadron?
Halo squadron?
Halo. When we were about to fly into certain areas, the Vietnamese in our Halo would jump out rather than fly into certain areas. There have to be thousands of lost souls wandering this country. I wish some teams would do paranormal research. I assure they would find a rich and fertile area to study. I wish they would. They do study stuff like that. Somebody very well might have already, and the findings. You know how people are. Like, I live by a battleground where I live, and I know there's stuff up there, and there is stuff all over. In Williamsburg, Virginia, at that battleground, when I was a little boy and we went through there, I saw stuff as a little kid didn't know what it was, but I'm like, well, this place is awfully weird. I never got a bad vibe from it because I tend not to feel the doom and gloom stuff, but it doesn't mean that the doom and gloom's not there. It's just.
But a lot of that stuff from battlegrounds, and I think Howie Odell, if he's still here, can vouch for it because I believe you live close to it as well.
Yeah.
Howie, with a lot of the wars that my brain just went blank. One of the most Gettysburg. Sorry, came back to
Yeah.
Gettysburg. So there's a lot of residual energy, which is kind of like a movie just replaying over and over and over, because everything's energy. The ground will hold that energy. But what I really do want to share with you, and I appreciate your comment, Robo, is it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a lot of lost souls.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that die in very tragic situations like wars, that was part of the reason how they were supposed to exit.
Yeah.
So it does not mean they're lost, but there could be
There could be some. I do agree with Lorilei, and I do believe on the could be. There are probably some souls that are going like, I didn't sign up for this. By the way, Hilo was helicopter, Lorilei. We are both so silly. But
that's okay. Thank you. I think this person is from the UK.
I didn't know that it was. But yeah, I agree with Lorilei though. Always remember this in mass tragedies and mass accidents, even like when whole islands are washed away in the shore and everything. Don't think for one moment, and it's hard to understand that those people did not sign up for that. So they may have known, not every one of them, but most people have known.
And as mass tragedies, sometimes a whole group of souls will agree to go out at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's going to affect a massive change, say globally or within an area. There's many reasons, but
that they do it.
Not everybody's lost.
Plane crashes, like planes where they lose 350 people. Mm-hmm. Trust me, all 350 people. From what I know, and I don't know everything, but I've talked to being a medium. I've talked to many on the other side who went through tragedies like that. A couple that went through tragedies like that, and just so everybody knows, most of those people were taken before the inevitable happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you agree with that, Lorilei?
Absolutely, 100%. Dave, you and I have had this conversation many times over the years off air, but I think we've even discussed it on air. And we both know with working within mediumship, never mind near-death experiences that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. I've studied for 40 plus years, both personally and professionally as a nurse. I can tell you that most people their soul leaves the body before the physical death happens, unless you contract that you really need to have that experience at the actual moment of your death. People leave it. It's not serving a purpose, right?
It's really not. If you look at it from, like Lorilei said, which is a perfect thing to say, from a near-death point of view, it's like, I was very sick and very much in pain, but I have no clue. I had no clue. I never felt it. I never felt it afterwards. The only thing I felt was having to come back, learning how to walk again. But I mean, the actual thing that happened to me, I wasn't present for it because there was no reason for it. And that's like Lorilei said, sometimes, unless there's a reason, I don't know. Maybe some people have the reasons. It's not mine to say, but most people, it's like, nope, you're out, you're taken. You know, it's
you're going back home. You're going back home. It's not serving any purpose for your soul to experience it. And I hope that somebody hearing this, because a lot of people, and I know David will vouch for this as well, when we work in mediumship perspectives, people have a lot of guilt if things were left unsaid. Or, for example, someone I know very well, their parent passed away very tragically and very quickly. They were in another city and they weren't here. And I can tell you, I've had many conversations with them, because the things that we can concoct, what we think the person has gone through physically, and to know that they've left their body already. They did not physically experience. Then I have met people who have had the question, no, but what about when you see on video and someone screaming and whatever? Yes, the physical body can go through that, but you as a soul energy leave the body already from most of our experiences, David and I have found before the actual.
I found that to be true with, and that sounds really crazy, you guys, and you're probably going to think I'm crazy. Well, not everybody in the chat will. In fact, I think that, wait, where are you? I think not Kathy Hanley. Where's my other one? But anyway, there's animals who get hit they leave their body beforehand. And what happens is the physical body can still function without a soul. Don't take that to the zombie area. but the physical body, and that includes human too. A human can be screaming with the eyes open while being crushed by a rock, but I guarantee you that soul's not there. If you can't stay in the body, there's no sense in being in there. It's almost like a ripcord. You just pull it, you're gone. You're just, that's it.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that where I was going with that, and I got off on a different topic, I think, for anybody hearing that's really, really torturing themselves with the thoughts of what may have happened to their loved ones, know that their soul left the body. Because like I say, it can happen, but it's just the physical body. And what Spirit just gave me while you were talking, the soul doesn't control the physical body, right? That's biochemistry, that's your heart, that's everything else.
Yeah.
The soul is not what's giving the body life.
Exactly.
That's my belief. So the physical body can still be there, even though the soul has left. I truly believe that.
In fact, wasn't there a child born without a brain one time that totally functioned for a while? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That just goes to show you that
the reason why Zika virus was such a big problem back in the day, because children were being born with very little brain. You would have to have it's called the brain stem. And that's what will give you at least breathing and a heartbeat. But I have heard of that and seen that. I didn't look after children in the NICU with no brain, but we saw a lot of unusual, strange things there, definitely.
Exactly. But anyway, to get back to our long thing, I'm not going to say that the video wasn't real. I just have questions.
I always have questions, like I said, but just taking it for what it is, even if it's curious, even if we could consider, because it was kind of weird. And then you get my partner, Del, who says, why does the activity always happen where the camera is? Why do they know where to put the camera exactly? And it happens. And he's got a good point. Yeah. Because it doesn't always happen in front of a camera. So why is it happening in front of the camera? There's lots of questions we could ask.
You know what, Lorilei, that's a kick butt question. I never even thought about it that way. In fact, boy, I feel silly. I watched this one channel of this person who is having all these things happen in the house, and I never really put two and two together. How come it's always happening in front of the same camera?
Yeah. Now, could it? Maybe
it
could be an item or something maybe they're connected to or whatever it might be. But on the whole, and that's his question, same thing with Bigfoot. And my partner used to be on this network. He used to do the delicious recipe. And the same thing with Bigfoot. He's always said this, like, you know what? You'll hear people saying, oh, yeah, I've got these rogue Bigfoots and they attack every night and they're trying to break in my house and everything else. And my partner Del always said, well, why don't you put cameras up? Put some cameras up so we can see what's going on.
Yeah, and they won't do it.
Well, he is right. Like, why is it happening? And the camera's perfectly centered and it's happening exactly. Now, if you got your whole house wired with cameras, yes, I could see that. But that's not usually the norm.
No, it's not. It's not. But you're right. I sometimes I don't want cameras up because I don't want to know what's lurking outside my house sometimes.
I have cameras up and I like them, especially when my partner's working nights and my dog starts to growl.
I have ADT cameras, one on the porch and one on the back porch, but nothing's on the side in the forest.
Okay, so Julie Jean Bassett said, I agree. They often leave their body if they are in path or traumatized prior, are in pain. Is that supposed to say pain? Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Or if they're in pain or traumatized prior to passing. My dad's soul left his body prior to his death too. Yes, and we see that often. Having worked in palliative care, and I didn't know the things that I know now, even though I was using the gifts that I had, I can tell you, being there at the point of death, many souls, probably 100%, 99.9% the souls left before.
Yeah, they ditch it. They're out of there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Michelle, we're going to get to your question. We'll get to a couple other videos because the next one is a glitch in the matrix. But again,
I like glitch in the matrix.
I have questions. Every video I show, I have questions. But if we could even take it as what we see, and I think you had a good point, Dave, like why, like it was following a straight line. The only thing that gave me a little bit of pause is that there's a little kid involved, and that little kid, unless he's Haley Joel Osment's clone or something, and when you look at it closer up, I'll post it in the group tonight, guys, he looked like he was mad.
Maybe I can't see it close up. So, but to me,
I could tell by the way that
laughing.
he threw the bed, being a mom, that kid was mad. That kid was like he wasn't. So he looked like he was mad.
I know. I wish some of those cameras had sound on them.
Mine do.
I know, but like that one didn't have sound on it because that might have gave us a little bit more to go off of.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to get to Robocombs, and Michelle's mentioning she freaks out when she sees orbs in her bedroom. You don't always have to freak out. Like we've talked about before, just because you have paranormal activity, it doesn't mean it's negative or something to be afraid of. No. You know, there's people that have us in as mediums, and you know what? Maybe there's a few things that are showing up and something's been there. It's say an older house, for example, kids are getting scared at night, but it's not a bad spirit. It's just living there. So we kind of, if you will, negotiate a deal that how about you guys, you can stay with the people's agreement and you just don't scare my kids and do your thing and we'll do our thing and we'll live peacefully.
Exactly. And to go off that, just so everybody knows this, exactly what Lorilei said. Exactly. I mean, yeah, there's some scary stuff sometimes, but most times it's not. I had a lady call me up. She got my number from somebody I did a reading for a long time ago. She happened to only live a couple of miles from me. And she said, there's been stuff going on in their house and they had just moved into it. They were moving stuff around in the house and some work was done in the house. And I said, okay. I was just kind of getting what's up. And she's like, can I pay you to come over and just tell me what's in there? And I'm thinking she just wants to do that. And I said, no, you don't have to do that. I said, is there anybody being hurt or harmed? And she goes, well, she had an 8-year-old daughter. And I said, okay, say no more. I said, no problem. I said, I can come over tomorrow night anyway. So I go over the next night. Now, the story behind a lot of this, they were petrified of all this stuff happening. They did not know who was in the house. I walked in the house. I said, can I talk to your daughter? Is it cool? I said, you stay in the room.
That's what you need to talk.
And I talked to the daughter and I said, and I just asked her, I said, so is some fun stuff going on? And she goes, yeah. When I said fun stuff, that was my thing. I said, is there some fun stuff going on? And she was like, yeah. She was excited. And I said, okay. And I said, is it bothering you? And she had said, well, sometimes it makes me scared, but they haven't done anything. I said, okay. Then I went to the adults in the room. Okay, they were all over the board, this and that. So I said, well, can I walk the house? Can I walk the house with you? I don't know what it was about this time, but I wish I would have recorded myself walking this house because the ghosts, there were 2 that were in there. And they weren't really ghosts, but the 2 that were in there were so present and validated themselves right from their name almost to the date that they died. And one was the grandmother.
I knew you were going to say that. That's what I was feeling. It's a grandmother.
It was the grandmother. It was the grandmother who owned the house. She left first. She left it to her daughter, who in turn passed away. And then the next daughter down there did the work on the house. They weren't mad. They had a room. They put in an extra bathroom where a bedroom was. And that was the jokes literally the spirits were telling me jokes about that. They're going to the bathroom on my bed now. They're literally laughing about it. And once they knew that's who it was, the grandmother, I told them I was sitting there and I really needed to hit home so that little girl wasn't afraid. They weren't afraid. And I said, the grandmother told me that you have her old, it's like a makeup thing and it's got 3 tri-mirrors on it. Do you still have it? And she's like, her eyes lit up and she opened up the attic door. It was in the attic. And I said, go ahead and put it out and let your daughter use it. That's what it's for. Mm-hmm. So they were happy. Guess what? No more hauntings. It's just what it was.
Okay, but I use this analogy too, okay, for people, because not everything is negative. And the more fearful you get, there's a thing called raising your vibration, but I used to say, what the heck is that? And now I am actually putting my course together, you guys. Finally, I'm hoping by October after the Lucky Paranormal Conference here, Lake Superior Paracon, and it's going to be a multiple month course, 1 time a week. It's Introduction to Spirituality. I don't know what I'm calling it. I'm setting up the school for it right now and the whole bit. Anyways, back to this. So what I always say you or anybody, we'll just say you as a global you, nobody in the audience, just somebody's passed away. Okay. Maybe they passed away very quickly and they don't realize they've passed, or they have passed away quickly. But they just really don't want to leave yet. We have free will in death too, not just in life. So they're hanging out. They go back to their house. They think, say, we'll use the one that doesn't know they passed. This is usually the best time I use this analogy. They can't figure out what's going on now. Nobody can hear them. Nobody can see them. And they go back to their house and they're doing their thing. Like, this is really weird. All of a sudden, strangers move into their house. It's like, what the heck are these people doing here? This is my house. And they try to pick up the phone, call the police. The phone, they can't use the phone. They can't do anything with it. And you know what? Like, they're trying to, like, you people don't belong here. I don't want you in here. And then all of a sudden, we hear a lot with renovations, especially, right? Renovations. Then what happens is, right, the activity really ramps up. So think about this. If this was yourself, maybe you didn't realize you'd passed. Okay. You're in your home. Strangers move in. They start changing the whole house around and out, whatever. What would you do to make your presence known, to let these people know that I don't want you here? Maybe I don't like what you're doing in my house. Even if you passed away, this is my house.
They still have the attachment to the physical. Yeah. And it is, Michelle Plummer said the Beetlejuice scenario. There is something very strange about the first Beetlejuice, because I know there is something
coming out.
Yeah, I know. There is something in there that is very correct. And it kind of explains how someone might not know they left. So there's the part where Barbara and him go out. One of them goes out the door and comes back, or they leave for a little bit and go through something and come back, and somebody had moved in. There's redecorated already. Time is different outside of here because there is no time. So everything's kind of squashed together. It's all happening at once. So let's say somebody walks in my house tonight and stabs me, and I was like, I didn't know it because I was sleeping and I didn't die. And I woke up and got up, fed my cats, going, why aren't the cats paying attention to me? And then I go up in my room for a minute and come back down, and there's new different furniture in here. It's because time is different. Time is different. So things would have passed and I would not have been involved in it because I no longer have a linear way to focus on something. I think that's probably the most confusing things I would think.
Yeah, but Michelle's okay. Hi, Miss. She's over in Australia. Friday morning over there. Welcome. She says, I think I'd work it out. I was dead when I didn't get hungry. But what if you could still eat?
Yeah.
Right? What if you could still eat?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember being a ghost, so I couldn't tell you. And I'm thinking too, which is really odd, and this is just a theory.
You gotta go back to Michelle's comment. Michelle will.
Okay. This is just a theory, but I kind of think that I wonder if some ghosts or spirits contracted to become a ghost or spirit to experience that, to know what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why not? We experience everything. So this is a good question that Michelle Wilfong. We have forgotten about the videos. We just don't have enough time, you guys. As fast as 2 hours of my week. I love
to answer this and play some more videos.
What's that?
We can answer this and then play some more videos.
Yeah, but this is the fastest 2 hours of my week. I love doing Monday show. I've done that show for years. But you know what? We are talking about spooky. I love to talk about spooky stuff as much as I love to talk about spiritual stuff. So I guess that's why I had the experience I did in my previous home. I always say we never went looking for it. It found us. But so Michelle Wilfong says, I have a question this week. What is the definition of portal? And how do I know if I have one? I got tons of answers. I don't know if you do or not, Dave, but
it's a ton of answers.
Everything's energy though, right? Everything's energy, including physical doorways that we have into our homes, into a store, whatever. I tend to think of a portal as an energetic doorway. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's a collection of energy. And I believe, and this is what Spirit's showing me right now, so thank you. It's like we have different astral realms, if you will. That's why you'll hear Earth sometimes referred to as 3D or the third dimension. You want to call them realms, you want to call them dimensions, whatever it is. Spirit's almost showing me like it's a highway that all converges into one, but it's not. I'm using this for the human understanding of it, because we can be anywhere we want in a million gazillion places in spirit form when we're just in energetic form. Okay, we don't have to take a highway, but they can use that. It's kind of like a wormhole, Spirit's now telling me too, kind of like a wormhole in space.
Yeah, exactly. If you look, they were talking to me. That's maybe you heard my guys.
I don't know, because that's what they just said.
Yeah. They go, David, explain a wormhole. So here's a planet. Okay, if you were to just get in a rocket and go from this planet to this planet, maybe it's billions of miles away, and you'd probably end up dead before you ever got there. Well, the better way to get to that planet would be to go through a wormhole, because space and time is concave. It's not straight. It's not in a line. It's curved. So if these are the two planets, there could be a wormhole here. And instead of going through this wormhole and going straight, you're going through this wormhole. It's kind of curves around and you just end up at the doorstep of the other planet. That's what that is. So what Lorilei was saying about the portal, it's an energy place. So it's almost kind of the same thing. If they are in another dimension, it's basically just an opening that they can go through dimension. Aliens use those.
You can go anywhere you want in spirit form and be in a gazillion different places at the same time.
Yeah, it's just maybe I guess the best way to look at it is concentrated energy in one space.
That's how I call it, an energetic doorway or wormhole. So how do you know if you have one? And Michelle, you're so funny. She goes, what if you could eat, but who went shopping if you were a ghost and you didn't realize you passed away? Michelle, you always ask the best questions.
I guess because of the fact you wouldn't notice the time between breakfast and lunch, so you might not ever.
There's no time on the other side. So how do you know if you have a portal? Well, first of all, if you're sensitive to energy, you will know you have a portal. You will feel it. The other thing is, sometimes with a portal, sometimes we could all have portals in our house and they're just not being used. You don't know.
Usually usually a portal forms, like if there was, okay, what the gentleman was talking about earlier.
I hadn't even said it yet, Julie. I was getting there. Is she talking about mirrors? Yes.
Oh yeah, exactly. So where that guy said where the place was where all the people left, he wanted mediums to go look at that with the helicopter.
Oh, Vietnam.
Yeah. I am sure there are portals there, only because of the fact that there was so much coming and going at the same time. So I'm sure that one have developed there. There's portals in the woods. There's vortexes in the woods.
You could create a portal if you really want.
Yeah, you could create a portal. They have what is the one called with the mirrors where we talk to the oh gosh, why can't I remember what it's called?
Scry?
It's a something room. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Psychomantium?
Psychomantiums. Yeah. And that, getting back to Julie Jean Bassett's mirrors can be portals. I don't know for sure, but in the psychomantium room, like I wonder if that
be portals.
I wonder if that mirror in that room is acting as a portal for the spirit.
A spirit can use anything to be a portal. Because people are asking about paintings, about mirrors. Think about it. If everything is energy and you break it down to energy, and we are energy, laws of energy can neither be created nor destroyed but transferred to one place to another. Same reason why spirits can move things should they want to, once they learn how to really manipulate energy. You guys have seen me do my pendulum thing where I tell you I'll hold it here and I tell you I'm going to get it to stop. I'm going to get it to turn in a circle. I'm going to get it to go diagonal. You can do it right now. But the thing is, once you start to understand about energy, and I'm not magic. I was on one show showing it years ago and somebody thought I was a witch. And no, you just learn to focus. And in spirit form, you need to remember your spiritual knowledge from all your higher self, if you will, your whatever you want. I call it higher self. You have access to all that. Right now we don't, because we're having a human experience. Yeah, exactly. So you will know how to do this. So anything could really be a portal.
If for those of you who are asking questions about all this, now we got our answers.
Great questions about this. I think it's a great idea.
Look up the law of mentalism. If you look up the law of mentalism and what it's about, that'll explain a lot of portals, ghosts, and everything else. It'll explain how that happens in just one law. And it's how we're saying it's all different ways. It's really all different ways. And mirrors,
but the simple way, and again, this is coming from spirit, if everything is energy, right? Including us. Right. And collections of energy could be transferred from one place to another. Everything's made of energy. And if you're energy, you could access it as a portal if you would like. Now, again, where we get into Spirit's giving me this as well. Say you've purposefully raised the vibration in your home. You filled it with positive, positive, positive energy, right? Like attracts like energy on this planet. That way, should you worry that maybe you have something from a lower astral realm or you have crazy paranormal activity, technically, that should stop it. You're no longer a match for it, right?
Yeah, that's
So,
like me. I'm in a certain spot in my life where actually I'm blinded to some stuff just because I'll never see it. It's not because
maybe you didn't have that contract to have that experience in this lifetime either.
Well, I think because I had them early on.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had the bad stuff early on that was scary. And I think throughout that, but that could just be, it just could be like, I don't need to have it. That's why. But some people do because it's part of their experience here. So we got to let them have it.
Like we've talked about it on here and off here, that I never went looking for the crazy experience we had in our previous
happens
home.
when it happens.
But I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. I was planning to become a doctor. I was a nurse already, and I was planning on going back to school. So had I not had this experience, and Dave and I both have said, yeah, he was one that brought it up, and I had to agree with him that I think I had the experience to get me to be doing what I'm doing now. So
I wouldn't be doing this.
I want to answer this right here. Michelle Wilfong, no mirrors, only in the bathroom. We're not telling you every mirror is a portal. That's not what we're saying. What we are saying is anything could be a portal. But unfortunately, and I've said this many, many times, okay, I'm really glad that there's a doorway to talking about this kind of stuff with the way the advent of TV, even horror movies and stuff like this. But unfortunately, you need to remember, okay, because even after our episode on Paranormal Survivor, when I was looking for the link for somebody one time, I saw some of the comments, and I think I've said it, including people saying the reason why this happens, and excuse my accent, it's because these people didn't get right with Jesus. They're living in sin. They didn't get married. What I'm trying to say to you is people believe that everything that's shown on TV is real. I'm here to tell you that my episode, everything we said on our episode with the interviews with us was real.
Yeah.
But it's a TV show. They had 20 minutes and it's supposed to be reality TV. Reality TV is not real. So when you see all this stuff on all these paranormal shows, okay, everything is not a demon. Demons are rare. I can tell you that. So, go ahead, Dave.
No, exactly. No, I'm agreeing with you.
So just because you have a mirror does not mean you have a portal. Just because you might have some paranormal activity does not mean it's negative, right? And again, the more where attention goes, energy flows. And when people told me this in the beginning, when I was looking for help, it really pissed me off because I was needing help, okay? But I know it now to be true. The more you focus on it, the more you talk about it, the more you perseverate on it, the more energy you are putting into the situation. So the more frequency, remember, as Dave has talked about, and so have I, we create our reality. Please, and we're not even going to go into the, because I'm just going to say that for a moment, because people say, I've got a terrible life and I never chose to create it. That's a whole different show. But what I'm saying is the more attention you put into this, the more you believe it's negative. Well, guess what? The universe shall bless you with what you ask for.
Yeah, the universe is a people pleaser, man. And it goes off your feelings. And I will tell people that it's not even the words, it's your feelings on something. So you always get more of what you want. And I think, like I said, I had enough of that. So this, and then Lorilei got that.
I didn't want it. I always say I wouldn't have wished on a blade of grass. Not that I'm any better than a blade of grass, because we really are all a part of each other. But I'm not angry about it. I'm not hateful about it, because I now recognize it for what it was. It was one of the worst experiences I've ever gone through as a family in my whole life. But I can tell you that I actually look back at it in gratitude. I wouldn't have met the people I have met, including all of you. I wouldn't be doing this show. I wouldn't have met David. I might have met you. I met you while I was still living in that house, but hadn't really gone down this path yet. But what I'm saying is, right, and we've said this many times, that sometimes when we go through the worst experiences in our life, and sometimes some time has to pass, and if we can try and look at it objectively, there's a reason why we experienced it. So if you really want to have paranormal activity and you want to have crazy, creepy things in your house, more attention you put on it, you can focus on it. People can invoke that kind of stuff. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean just because you've had activity that it's negative.
It's negative. And not all portals aren't necessarily negative either. Well,
They're
some
just a doorway.
yeah.
So if you keep getting more and more and more and more activity, and strange things are happening, and weird things are happening, good things are happening. I have the friend that took the creepy pictures when I was talking to of really weird stuff behind me, and I've shared it on TikTok. She also took pictures of me while I was doing a card reading for her, and in behind me, it looks like my light has taken the shape of an angel and bright light. She's also taken pictures of me when I was talking to her. Like, I took them actually. I was showing her our fairy door that we had at the time that I no longer had up. We were looking at everything at the time, like what was, because nothing was working except to get the heck out of there. Maybe we needed to leave. It wasn't healthy for us. The house was full of black mold. Anyways, I took pictures of myself holding up the fairy door, and I have right after one after another, like click, click, click. First picture's me. Second picture's me. Third picture is me, but it's not my face. It actually reminds me of something from the caveman days.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you had the big brow.
I think you've seen it. Very broad forehead, sort of heavier brow, different between the mouth and the nose here. It's me, though. You can see my tattoo on my finger. You can see the clothes I'm wearing, my hair. So it doesn't mean it's negative.
No, it doesn't. And you know what? I'm going to try to get through this with a straight face. But just seeing it, one time I was at this carnival, and it was real dark outside, and I had to go to the restroom. So I went to the restroom, and when I came back out, I was like in this fancy hotel instead.
Ooh!
And I thought that was weird, so I turned back around and I went right back in the bathroom, and I ended right back up at the carnival. Apparently, I had stepped into a portal potty.
Oh, David! I was sitting here really expecting. One time I went to a carnival.
Oh, I had to. I'm sorry.
That's like Robo saying, yours are like scales. I hate them both.
See, that's how we got to look at stuff. We have to laugh about stuff, you guys. Not everything can be scary. Some stuff is fun.
Yeah, and it's fun to be scared, especially when it's.
I think it is.
So Connie asks, can a body shed tears hours after the spirit has left the body? I believe it can.
I believe it can. I believe it can too. I don't know if it's coming from the soul, and I don't know the reasons why. But I would think, yeah, because you know what? That might be. Look at the statues who shed tears. Now people say that's all fake. I think some of it might be real, and I don't think it's real because of what they're talking about. I think
could just get into the physical way it could happen.
Yeah, but I think stuff like that it happens because it needed to happen to show somebody something.
Yeah, everything does happen for a reason.
Yeah, everything has a reason. So I got to say, I don't know. I can tell you for sure, but I would not discount it that it couldn't happen.
This is how traumatized I was. Okay. Back in the day, I've mentioned my dad was one of 17 kids, and I had to be really little, probably 3 years old. And I guess my grandfather used to keep chickens, and let's just say they were providing meat for the family. And I didn't see how they took the chicken's life, but I was so traumatized. I'm going to be 59 August 15th. I still remember those chickens running around. Chicken with no head on. Now, how is that possible? Right? Nervous system you can get into, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but the body does go through something called rigor mortis. You've got the eyes, and there's tears there as you pass, and as the body starts to stiffen up, yes, the tears could fall, as well as what David said. I like David's reason meaning much better, but there is a physical reason that it can happen.
Yeah, I know there's a medical reason. I'm sure it could happen. But I mean, if it's later on, I think there could be a reason why, hey, we see all kinds of weird stuff. Did I tell you about the spiders? So I'm working on some studies that I'm doing, and I was, looking for signs and all that. I saw this spider outside that was kind of scary looking, and I pushed him back into his little corner. That night I walked in, and there was a spider in my bathroom above my little doorway, same kind of spider, and got rid of him outside. And then 2 days later, last night, I went up to my bedroom, and that same exact kind of spider was above my bed. And so I had to take him down, and I thought, okay, I've never seen a bug in my house since I moved
I
here.
had one on those little really cute light up things from Bath and Body Works.
Uh-huh.
There was one on there, and I was about to I wanted to get rid of it, and I was, what am I doing? So I grabbed the Bath and Body Works thing out of the plug, and I put him outside and put him on the grass. Mind you, we have things here called mosquito hawks, and they are massive, big, long, creepy legs. They look like mosquitoes on super steroids, and they creep me out. But my partner, who's worked in the bush quite a bit, told me, you do not ever want to take one of those lives. And I didn't. But they've been coming in at night because they eat the mosquitoes and all the nasties. So
otherwise, I don't. It was weird. This spider. See, where I live, we have black widows, and it's not a black widow, but it looks just like one. It's big. It's black, and they're probably about as big as my pinky, about like that big, half the size.
But Julie said the spider had a message for you. Look up the spiritual message.
Oh, yeah. I got the spiritual message. Actually, I looked it up because it coincided with everything I've been doing. So I was very happy about that.
Just like my skunk that one year I've talked about this. Baby skunk kept showing up. So Julie, you brought up a good question or a good point. What about the Bermuda Triangle? Was that a portal? The other thing I'm going to throw in here, I've told you where I live in Thunder Bay, northwestern Ontario in Canada, about 6.5 hours north of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and 40 minutes away from the US-Canadian border. We live on the shores. The city is situated on Lake Superior, which is one of the largest of the 5 Great Lakes in North America. Okay, we have every kind of activity you could think of over here. We also have apparently a mini Bermuda Triangle, that's what it's called, in the middle of the lake. So why is it there? One thing I'm going to share with you, because I think it's a good question, Julie, and I've looked into the Bermuda Triangle a bit, is as human beings, as I understand it, we have explored less than 10% of the water bodies around the world, the oceans. So is it a portal? Is it because I have seen people who have explored and gone deep enough, they have found freshwater lakes under the ocean.
Yeah.
It could be a portal. It could be a doorway. Could it be to another dimension? I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
It could be. You never know. I don't know a lot about the Bermuda Triangle, but I know there's more than just the Bermuda Triangle as far as very large spaces where things have disappeared. I agree with Lori that as far as the ocean goes, it is true. I mean, we haven't looked very much into the ocean. So who knows what's down? I don't think they realize how big the earth actually is. Because somebody had made a mention to if it's lava in the middle, how come it's so cold at the bottom of the ocean? Which sounds like a good argument until you realize where the ocean stopped, there's a whole lot more land before the middle of that earth. So that heat's not getting up there.
Well, did you ever hear the story about the green children? And apparently this is true. It's through, if you go back through history, there were 2 children that appeared apparently that couldn't speak English, couldn't speak really any language known to human beings, and were green.
Oh, they're the greenish chimps. I think it was a little boy and a little girl, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then when they learned how to speak English, they spoke of their land that they came from, and they weren't extraterrestrial. And they, from what I understand, looked like they were from somewhere closer centered to the earth. Now, scientists say that the center of the earth is lava, and I just thought, how do we really know? Nobody's ever gotten to the center of the earth.
Nobody's gone to the center of the Tootsie Roll. Well, let's find out. And then too, I agree with Julie Jean Bassett said, I also think that Loch Ness, Bigfoot, etc. disappear through portals.
I
I
agree.
do too, because I believe that they're all interdimensionals.
That's funny you mentioned Loch Ness, Julie, because I was thinking about this because, again, my partner watches a lot of documentaries. And I remember in our old house, we watched this documentary on the search for the Loch Ness monster. And that guy really tried. Like, he went through with sonar and boats. They did every nook, every cranny, and they could never find it. But Nessie isn't the only one. There's Champs. There's a whole bunch of them around the world that have these, and then you see things that wash up on the shore sometimes. Like, again, can we prove it's real? No, because I know there was a documentary on the search for mermaids, and it was eventually revealed that was a hoax that was on Nat Geo. But you know, I remember, I think it was over in Australia. Maybe, Michelle, you might know better. Yes, I was thinking about Antarctica too, Mish. There's a lot of stuff over in Antarctica.
Oh, yeah, there's Alaska and Antarctica. I don't know if anybody watch it.
No, Antarctica's bad, Dave. There's no fly zone, and it's crazy when you start looking into Antarctica. But what I was going to ask her over in Australia, was that not where there's been video, and again, it could have been completely faked. We just don't know nowadays, where they took something out of the ocean that looked very similar, because somebody was filming it till they got caught, apparently, that it looked very much like it could have potentially have been something akin to mer people with the tail. And
they've had a lot of stuff like that. That's a tough one. Now, I'm going to say from studying elementals, I can say that stuff like that.
Oh, it does exist in energy soul form,
but in soul form. But I'm not sure here. I mean, a lot of people are going to try to fake it. I mean, we had to have all lore came from something. So it's kind of like I don't know if you just watched I just watched a thing on, I think it was the unicorn, a unicorn, and when they went back, a griffin, that was it. They said it was a griffin reel. And they said, and they went back through history when they first started, people saw them. There was an animal that almost looked like a triceratops in a way, more reptile-y, that had a big beak on it and stuff. So they might have, when they described it, because we have to say, back then, they might not have had those same words we had. So they may have described it as half lion, half eagle, because that's the only way they had to, they could do it, or half, whatever. So who knows? So, but like
I've seen videos of potentially look like little baby raptors.
Yeah.
And then China, I'm being kind, China, because we even apparently broadcast to China. And Michelle, you're not weird. You're just perfect, like the rest of us. We're all just odd and unique and love unusual things. That's all. I have video footage, and I've had people tell me it's fake, but I don't know, because I dug into it a wee bit with the DNA and stuff, and they're experimenting. I'll say over in the East, but it looks like it may be coming from China, that they're mixing DNA they have found with dinosaurs and chicken embryos. And now, again, I don't know if this is real or not, but I've got a couple videos I have saved of scientists carrying out, looks like baby dinosaurs in some type of laboratory or whatever. Now, again, you got to ask yourself, why would it be on video? And especially as controlled as the internet is in China, how did it get released? But I don't know. The DNA, yes.
Like I said, it might not be the real thing, but it might be a someone trying to explain something or get someone to look for something in that sense too.
Well, you got to think though, birds come from dinosaurs.
That's what dinosaurs. Yeah, that's research. Dinosaurs turned into birds.
Well, yeah, they evolved. Some certain types did, but the thing is, this is certain research papers I've seen and stuff of them mixing and experimenting with different types of DNA from found dinosaurs with egg embryos. I don't know if it's true or not, but it looked certainly intriguing. I hope not. We don't want to bring them back yet. Julie goes Jurassic Park. Let's hope they learned from the movie. Don't bring them back.
Yeah. Well, they tried cloning sheep, so who knows what they're going to try next.
Yeah. Well,
I don't care. I just let them do what they do. I think the world is a fascinating place, and I'm glad it's so messed up.
They could bring up you could bring back unicorns.
That's right. Bring back a unicorn. Well, for all we know, because what was the one I was watching about? It was in a horror movie. Oh, I think they did it as when they saw the unicorn bowed his head and stabbed the people with his horn, so they weren't good. I can't remember what that's. It's a lore thing they were talking about, the unicorns, because the unicorns are majestic and stuff, but they said that's only what we see. How do we know in context if they were friendly or if they would defend something with their horns, or because they wouldn't have a horn for no reason.
Well, I don't know
how true that is. That was just a funny thing.
Okay, apparently, and I told this story before about back in the day that somebody said they knew me from a past life, whatever. I drew a picture. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. I've told it many times, but the night that I realized who I was and what I was, and it had been verified by two people that didn't know each other but worked within these fields that we work in, that both kind of verified for me about something to do with the fairy realm. Apparently, well, I shouldn't say apparently, I did it. It was about 3 a.m. and I haven't drawn in a long time. Like I've drawn, it's hard to turn my arm. This tattoo, it's a dragon. It's got lots of symbols and stuff in it. I've drawn lots of my tattoos, but I don't usually draw anymore. And I sat down and drew it. And it was sort of a unicorn and a Pegasus mixed together. And it wasn't my pet at that time. And it wasn't my familiar or anything like that. We were equals. And her name was Chloe. So I don't know where she came from or what, but I drew her. She was real. I'm not saying my drawing was that beautiful, but she was beautiful. Like I could literally see her in my mind's eye. So I don't know. Oh, hi, Kim Lawful Huts. We hadn't said hello to you. She just asked a question. Can animals, dogs, cats evolve into humans after they pass?
It's not an easy answer.
Well,
it's not a quick answer.
I have a story though. And again, I don't know if it's real or not, but my eldest son, when he was 14, and he's grown up with a mother that does this kind of stuff, obviously. Yeah, his fiance and my son and his fiance always joke they have twin mothers because his mother lives out in BC and is into spiritual stuff and crystals and whatever. And anyways, when he was 14, one of his friends' moms did this type of stuff and apparently was a reflexologist. I didn't know this, but they went there and he was friends with the daughter. And there was a whole group of them there. And I guess, I don't know how they got into the discussion, but the mom asked them if they wanted to do a past life regression. So they did. He came home and he was so excited. He told me about his life as a wolf. He told me who he was. He told me all this stuff about this life. Now, can I tell him it wasn't real? No, because I didn't experience it. But my thoughts are, if you really want the experience of coming from being a human being to going to be an animal, I don't think there's any laws against you can or you can't, because we don't always evolve as human beings either. We don't always evolve We don't always come back as into the future. We don't always come back as a human being. Could we come back as other things if we really felt we needed to have the experience? Never mind that the past, present, and future. Yeah. It's all happening at the same time.
Trust me, humans are not at the top of the evolutionary scale at all. I mean, we are on Earth, but outside of everything else, it's just another species or another thing. I can't answer that question with an honest answer, but I can tell you this. And this is what I do know.
What is this Robo's question or Kit?
No, this is Kim's question about the animal.
I'll wait then.
Yeah. Let's say I go back on the other side and I say, hey, I'm going to go back and experience what it's like to be a dog. Okay. So if I went back to do that, I can guarantee you this. In that space, I will never, ever, ever remember being a human or be allowed to be remembered to be a human, because animals go through so much hell. A human being, a human mind would never, ever understand it. An animal has a totally different way of thinking and perceiving things, where animals are more pure love. and they keep that. So it'd be difficult. I'm not saying it couldn't
Yeah, but if
happen.
you're going to incarnate on Earth, I think that's sort of one of the laws, that you come in here with spiritual amnesia.
Yeah, no, but I mean, no, this is different.
Yeah,
It's
but you're
different.
not going to remember being a human being, is where I'm going with that, David, because it's not going to serve any purpose. You're here to be an animal. So you're not going to remember that you were a
Because
human.
the memory when you get back, you would have. So
Sorry?
if you could handle it, because you would get your memory back.
Yeah, I
If
know
you
that,
get
but
your-
I meant
okay,
when
if
you're
you-
here.
you were-
I'm concurring with you. I am
Oh,
giving
yeah.
you an adjuvant to
Yeah.
what you're
The only
saying.
thing that I could see though, if you came back as an animal and you were tortured and then you went back over there, you would have to remember that again, go through your stuff, and then how are you going to solve that karma unless you stayed for an animal for a little bit? So I would say this.
Maybe you do something with animals, or there's
That's what I'm-
many
that's-
different ways. We're looking at
Yeah.
this with human eyes, as I
Yeah,
always
that's yeah, exactly. We can only look at this through human eyes because it's too difficult to explain. As far as I look at it this way, animals are animals, people are people, insects are insects, and why I'm here. While I'm here, I'm saying why I'm here. That's how I see it.
I don't think anything is impossible on the other
I
side.
don't think anything's.
I think there is
Yeah.
limitations, because we're an everlasting soul or energy, supernatural being, whatever you want to call us, we are. So our purpose of incarnating or having experiences is to learn, grow, and evolve. So if you really felt like there was
No,
something,
we can merge with an animal spirit, and I think Julie Jean Bassett will agree with me. We can merge with an animal because I've done animal communications where the animal let me see stuff through their eyes. So you merge in that energy, or like my little dog who got killed by the other dogs when he let me see him running through the backyard through his eyes. So I don't know. It's kind of a question that we really. I don't think there's anybody on this planet that could give you an honest answer to that question.
I like Dave and I have often said, we don't know everything. We will always strive to answer to the best of our ability or for what we receive from spirit. But my belief is, yes, you can. That's my belief. And David has shared how he feels about it.
It's on the cusp.
I can't fathom what the purpose would be, but I also said something else. The past, the present, and the future are all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? So
I do know, as far as evolution goes, as animals move up, now animals move up an evolutionary ladder in other animals. I know once they become aware of themselves, that's why you're like animals, your pets, when we name them and we love them, they become more aware of themselves. So they're probably leveling up in that way.
Mm-hmm. Julie says, I have seen through animal eyes before. I've
exactly.
also had a dog come back as a horse.
Yes. The animals don't have to stay their species. That's another thing. They don't have to.
This is an interesting question. It's got a quick answer.
Oh, sure.
Asked, have either of you viewed your own death? No, and I have no desire to.
Which death?
Past life, definitely. You are absolutely right. Have I viewed past life deaths? Absolutely.
Oh, you mean like my up and coming? No.
Yeah.
If you're asking about my up and coming, no, my soul knows when that is, and I'm totally fine with him telling me.
I have no desire to know. Should you really want to know? If you could find somebody that was willing to bend the ethics and tell you that, I guess you could, or you could do a hypnosis session. But
even at that, here's the thing, guys. You can change what you even decided when you get here. You can change it again.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to leave when maybe you had decided. There's people that build in exit points, or we have free will here, just like we do on the other side, and we have free will.
So, and Lorilei just made a really good point. Okay, so we have a certain time when it's our time to go, but you can change how you go. Because if I was supposed, let's say if I'm supposed to go in a plane crash when I'm 72, I don't fly. That's just not going to happen. I hate airplanes. So I'm going to have to, something else is going to have to happen to me. Maybe I'll get.
Plus, if you know about it, do you do something to change it? Right?
There is stuff you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is stuff you can do, but you're Your soul, listen, you guys don't ever be afraid of death or even the way. I know we have our fears, but that it's a transition. You won't even know it happened.
It's as easy as going to sleep.
Yep. It's as easy as you're getting up out of one chair and going to sit in another.
Yep. So Kim Lawful Holt says, interesting. Wonder what else is out there. What else humans can evolve into?
Who knows?
I guess it just depends how deep you go. Then you get into, just because we're talking about this doesn't mean that there isn't somebody. How do we know that there aren't beings out there that are posing as humans that could, kind of like Harry Potter, become an animagus? They can change themselves into an animal form or something. We don't know that.
Yeah. And we're looking at this either through human eyes or spiritual eyes. So through human eyes, we have evolved. We human beings look a lot different than we used to, and we're going to look a lot different 100 years from now. Mm-hmm. So we are going to evolve. Now, if you're talking about species or what you look like, I guess that all depends on wherever you decide, whatever your next adventure is. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. Whatever your next adventure is, I guess you choose it.
Mm-hmm. So Julie says, I had a premonition of my death, or I guess one of my exit points. And then she added, I don't fear death. In my shamanic training, we did an exercise that simulated death and we left our bodies. It was really cool.
Yeah, see, people who study shamanism, they almost know exactly what I know. I mean, it goes a little beyond that, but yeah, it's literally almost the same thing, Julie Bassett. It's almost the same thing, that same kind. It's very peaceful and very beautiful and very wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, having been there at the point of death with many, many, many people, including people that died, were resuscitated and came back. And I feel so lucky that some have shared with me what they experienced. Well, their heart had stopped and we were trying to resuscitate them. So, and I can tell you, and I encourage you, because it is really life-changing and incredible, to look up on, say, YouTube or on the Next Level Soul podcast. There's a whole file, if you will, people sharing their near-death experiences. Not one of those people has come back and say, I'm terrified to die. Most of them, no. Did they want to leave tomorrow? No. Did they want to leave and come back? No. But they are not afraid.
I do want to come back here again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I will.
Now.
Yeah, I'm saying this now. I could go over there and go, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but but I just, hey, in the grand scheme of things, all things happen. All things have some kind of story about it. Everything has a little bit of truth to it. And, that's just how it goes. And nobody knows exactly what happens to every single person here, because every single death experience is different for every single person, too. The only thing we have in common is the white light. And some people don't even go to the white light. They just go straight over.
Let me say hi. We got Dr. Fred Woodard. He was a guest on the Angel Rock a couple of times. He was over on Instagram. We got Kim. I think it's Kim Mind BQ. She joined, and we got the Gnome Tribe. David and I love gnomes. So if you can come join us over on YouTube. I always forget to do this, and we're almost done, but I will say it. You're listening to UFO Paranormal Radio Network, and or UPRN as we like to call it, on 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 out of New Orleans, Louisiana. And you're listening to or watching The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with myself, Lorilei Potvin, and David Hanzel. So Jackie Lane says shapeshifter. Everybody's talking about shapeshifters now.
Shapeshift. Oh gosh, yeah, shapeshifters. And what's the other one? Wendigo. Everything's a Wendigo. Everything's a shapeshifter. But shapeshifters, I have to say, I believe in the indigenous when they talk about the shapeshifters. I believe there's something to that. I don't know what it is, but I believe there's something to it.
Okay, so wait, it's not shapeshift. Why did my mind just go blank? There's Wendigos, shapeshifters, and what are they always chasing?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what are we always changing? We're always
No, they're always chasing, and it's over in Navajo. Somebody will put it in the chat. Why did my brain just go Skinwalker? I knew it would come to me if I talked long.
That's it.
Skinwalkers.
Yeah. A skinwalker is different than a shapeshifter, though.
No, and Wendigos and shapeshifters or skinwalkers. All three are actually different. So
Yeah, they're all different. Yeah.
So Robocombs, I love to hear this. He says, marking my calendar for next Thursday. I have thoroughly enjoyed your show. We love having
thank you.
Thank you. We're not quite done yet, you guys. We've got a few more minutes left.
Yeah, a couple of minutes. Did you give your middle of the show announcements?
I just did. It was late, but I just did.
Oh, okay. That's where my head's at. We were talking.
But
you guys. You guys, me and Lorilei are like this, even not on the show. We're like,
no, but I was going to point out what people don't realize is not only are we listening to the show and thinking about what we're going to say and reading comments, we hear spirit too. So that's sometimes why we forget things. So I get it. That's always, and I have a delay, you guys. I forget to tell people. So sometimes I will accidentally start to talk over Dave. So please forgive me. He knows this. We don't get mad about it, but just so you guys know.
Yeah, we could care less. We just have fun with it.
Glitch in the Matrix thingies up here.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's watch a glitch in the Matrix, because those are.
I don't know if I'd call it that, but you guys see what you think. Okay, so this is from TikTok, Break and Pop. Oh, I got to turn the volume back on. I don't know how that went off. Probably because we had a commercial.
User Eddie is parked in front of a Boston Pizza restaurant in Fresno, California, when he spots something very weird.
I didn't see it at first.
Okay, where is this car that's reflecting?
Oh.
No,
I understand what he's talking
it's a
about.
Corvette.
Okay, so when I first saw that, I thought he was talking about the red car off to the left, kind of like at 7 o'clock from the letter B in Boston Pizza, but he's not. He's talking about the orange sports car right in the middle.
In the middle, yeah.
Okay, so I'll restart it. Hang on.
Camera angle. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Sorry, guys. We're delaying it.
What? Where is that car? Hello, where's that car?
In the reflection of the restaurant's window, Eddie sees an orange Corvette C8. But when he looks around the parking lot, it's not there. In disbelief, Eddie posts his video to TikTok, wondering if he might have caught a, quote, glitch in the Matrix. The bizarre footage goes viral, receiving over 2.8 million views. In the comments, viewers repeatedly ask Eddie to go back and film the location one more time.
Okay, we are back at the same parking lot, because one of the many comments you guys were saying is walk up to it, either inside of the pizza parlor or it's a wrap on the window. I don't know. Let's check it out. So I'm walking to it right now. If you look at it actually from this point of view, the reflections look kind of accurate. There's a place. There's a light car reflecting. That's right here. And no, there's like no car in there.
So for the people,
Accurately reflects what's right in front of it. The orange Corvette is no longer there. Cut to another video of a supposed.
For you guys, because we're not going to have enough time. But what I do want to answer quickly, Robo, and then we'll talk about the video for a minute or two. Robocombs, I am fascinated with remote viewing. What's your take on it? We haven't got enough time to get into it, but we could next week. But I will tell you, and I'm not trying to promote the Angel Rock, but my show that was Monday night, it's on YouTube here. It's on Facebook under UPRN or my profile. I had somebody by the name of Jess. I think it was Kernan was her last name. She had a 6-year-old who had autism that headhunted her to work with him. He's now in his 30s because he remembered their soul contract, and that she talked all about the remote viewing experiments they did. This kid could put his hand on a book without reading it and tell you page per page what was inside of it and what the book was about. It was incredible. Yeah. So and I have tons of info if you need it. Do you want to add something, Dave? And then we'll...
Yeah, remote viewing is real. Anybody, you can learn remote viewing. I am 100% confident that they use it
I believe
in other capacities. Going back and forth. I know it's real because I've used it, and that's we use if we help people like find missing people, if we're contacted through which, by the way, that's free.
Everybody can be taught to do it if you don't know how to do it naturally.
Yeah, because everybody can do it, and then some people are just born with this amazing remote viewing. But yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. I got tons of information on it too. Feel free to reach out, Robo. Monday night, what time? Same channel as this program, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I talked about it this Monday past. You know what? Feel free to reach out, Robo, on Facebook under my name, Lorilei Potvin, or join our group, what we're going to talk about in just a minute. And then you'll be able to see the link. And there's a link in our group as well to Monday night's show. So Julie said, wow, I need to go back and watch that episode. Let's see. Caradwin Tellison said, nice show, Lorilei and David. This Corvette thing is fascinating. Jennifer M says, definitely a glitch. What'd you think?
I don't know what it is. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's something I would totally look into.
We're always going to have questions because with video stuff and deep fakes. Yes. But I was glad he went back. At least he went back.
I did too. Now, if he wouldn't have went back right off the bat, I would have said, all right. But he went back and I understood. I don't know how that could happen. It's weird. It always brings me back to that. It just happened not long ago. Everybody's talked about a glitch in the Matrix where they were in Hollywood and that lady and man walked behind another guy and or a man did. And then a lady just appeared out of nowhere. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, a glitch in the Matrix. But then they actually were interviewing an actress and showed her that clip. She had never seen it before. And she goes, that's my mom. And then she told them exactly what happened. It literally was a camera angle, which was odd, but it
David,
really...
You've had a glitch in the Matrix. We haven't got time because we've got less than 3 minutes, but with his own earring that was missing.
Oh, yeah, I had stuff like that. I guess we call that a glitch.
Well, we haven't got time, Dave. You're going to have to save it, but I want to tell Kim one thing. She never heard of remote viewing. You can Google it or feel free. Anybody that wants to know about it, feel free to reach out. I have a whole file on it. I just shared it with someone. Go ahead and stay tuned, you guys, for the Outer Realm before I forget to tell you, coming up next, second night of the show with the amazing Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Okay, if you would like to follow me on social media.
Write that down about the earring, by the way. We can't forget because you need to tell that story next.
I'll tell the story again. That's kind of a glitchy thing, but yeah, stuff happens. If you'd like to follow me on TikTok or Instagram, it's at Medium David Hanzel. There are no slashes, dashes, or numbers in those names. You can follow me on my YouTube channel, The Spirit Experience, or my Facebook group, The Spirit Experience. My website is called theywhispertome.com. It's the only place you can get a reading from me. I do not DM people, neither does Lorilei. Please join our Facebook group, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel. After 200 followers, we will be going live a couple times to do some readings for you guys. And take it away, Lorilei.
Thank you. Poor Dave. You guys remind him next week if we forget, because we do forget. By next week. Life is crazy and busy. Get Dave to tell you his own glitch in the Matrix story about one of his earrings that was missing.
That's a good one.
We'll leave them hanging on that, Dave. And anyways, if you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Facebook.com/The Angel Rock. I am also working on setting up one-stop shop scheduling with my readings. I will never DM you for a private reading like David said, but I'm working on that. But you can get a hold of me fastest way there. That's my business page right now. Or you can get a hold of me on any social media platform under Lorilei Potvin or the Angel Rock, or Messenger is the fastest way to get a hold of me usually. Also, I have 2 groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal, Angel Rocker Tribe for all things spiritual. Would love to have you there, as well as our group. Don't forget to tune in, you guys, if you guys are into weird conspiracy stuff. Monday night, I am having on, his name is Christian La Terreur, and in English that means Christian the Terror. That's his legal name. He claims he is one of the boys of Montauk, and that he was part of kind of what Stranger Things was based on. and that he was one of the boys. Speaking of remote viewing, speaking of telepathy, and his book that he wrote on it has been banned the minute he put it up on Amazon. So he will be on the Angel Rock 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I can't wait. I think that's everything.
I think you got it all. You guys, thank you so much for watching us. Remember to stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
And don't sweat it. Okay, you guys? We're going to try to do an out and do it at the same time. So everybody, here we go. 1, 2, 3. What's at the foot of your bed?
Oh, we were way off.
I think it was...
One of these days, you guys will get it right on. Mm-hmm. We love you guys. We'll see you next Thursday, same time. And I'll see y'all, whoever shows up on Monday night at the Angel Rock as well. Don't forget to check Dave out on TikTok. I have been trying to go live with him. Life has been crazy, but he goes live very often on his own TikTok. So, right, Dave?
I do all the time.
Okay, Michelle Wilfong's going to remind you, David, about your